All right. Excellent. Thanks for returning, gentlemen. Where we left off last time, you were in the Burgomaster's mansion, where Ismark, a young, strapping, strong, square-jawed individual, wanted to take you to introduce you to his sister, Irina. And upon arriving at the home, you guys saw a lot of footprints, weren't able to tell a whole lot of what was going on other than some of them seemed like they might be fleshy zombie ghouls type, and maybe some others, but your rolls weren't particularly well, so your knowledge on that is limited. When you entered the house, you saw the sister of his, and as the picture indicated, she is an attractive girl and doesn't really look anything like her brother. In case you guys need a reminder, share that as well.
Right, she was she got rated as a 10 on the threat scale, and everyone else got a 3.
That's right. Speaking of which, you might want to do your roll, Scott.
Oh
yeah. Anyway, there was discussion that she had been bitten, and so the general idea is, well, they want to get her somewhere safely. Ismark does anyway. He wants to get her to Vallaki, where they have some family up there, and it's a larger city. They figure they have a better chance of actually protecting her that way. Of her father, well, their father actually, and he doth stinketh at this point. And you guys had been barely introduced. A dongle fell out of your the android, and that is where we've left off. So you guys are face to face with her. I don't have a separate map for this house. It doesn't have enough content for that. But yeah, so go ahead and ask away.
What's the guy's name?
Ismark.
Okay.
And just to clarify, her father is dead?
Yeah, you guys can tell that quite easily.
Okay.
And in fact, he's in the makings of a coffin, but it doesn't have a lid on it. It has flowers all around it, perhaps
I'm going to provide him a medical assistant.
Gosh.
Yep. You try giving him, some sort of form of CPR, but there is a. Actually, we'll check. We'll make the dice determine this.
My hands are defibrillators.
Yep. All you
I
did
beat
was
your roll.
Crack some ribs. Yeah, I was just gonna say you're strong and a heavy creature, so you're pumping its chest, its bones crack. The shock on Irina's face is palpable and very obvious, and she turns and says, "Ismark, who are these? What are the? Well, what is he? What are you doing? Close the door." She motions to you.
Giving him medical assistance.
He says, "Well, I mean, I guess I've heard of priests and things like that. Are you a priest? You're the weirdest priest I've ever seen. If you are, no offenses, but." She points her sword a little bit farther down. She's not quite as defensive because she can tell you're not actually trained to attack anything. Besides, Ismark brought you in.
Ismark, I believe that you said that your father was sick, not that he was dead.
Well, in this place, they call it, the long sleep, and there are priests who could deal with this type of thing, but I don't think we have much choice anymore.
I'm trying.
I should point out that the wolves and the other things have been attacking at night. That stopped when Dad passed. But anyway, we've got to get him
buried.
What is happening?
He's still over there pushing.
Medic, please stop. You're not doing any good. He is dead. However, will you please check his body to see if we can determine the cause of death?
Are any of my medical rolls good enough to determine the cause of death besides the crusher?
Yeah, actually, especially that last one. I mean, normally we wouldn't roll until we succeed, but this was pretty good. So I'm gonna roll with it. Yeah, you recognize he died of heart failure. In fact, it was such a good roll. I'm gonna add that it's likely from fear. He was an older guy, weaker heart, and it seems like he got quite literally scared to death.
I would like
So
to.
anyway,
Okay,
yeah,
so
go
I'm
ahead.
going to act under the assumption, Medic's going to act under the assumption that if he scares him enough, he can reverse it.
Goodness.
I like
Little
pop up
hints
behind
and
his
things.
corpse.
shoot out.
Medic, get over here right now, please.
She, Arena is whispering to her brother something about you guys.
Do I have any sense of what she said?
You can roll for perception if you'd like.
Yeah.
She said to him, "Are you sure these people are even right in the head?"
Madam, Miss, whatever, I assure you our intentions are noble. However, this companion of ours, he is an idiot. So I ask you to please forgive any misgivings that you have about him.
Well, at least he seems sincere, she says to you.
He is
I
a
note out
sincere
loud
idiot. That is correct.
That Diedrich's is flushed in the cheeks and that his pulse rate seems to be up. I asked if he'd like to be like me to inspect further. His blood flow appears to be moving to other parts of his body, and I am
Oh my gosh.
concerned for his health. I haven't sit.
Wow.
She blushes, and it's this awkward moment, and she tucks some of her auburn hair behind her ear, and turns away timidly, like, anyway,
It's spreading.
my brother was-
I help her sit down quickly.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I tell you what I need though is I need help getting him buried. I won't go to Valaki with him sitting here rotting, unable for us to take him safely. There's been strange things going on in the church in town. There's sightings of ghosts, and there's of course the wolves that have been attacking him, but until he died, I just don't know if they're waiting for us to just step out with his body or what. Can you help us? Help me?
What
Then I'll go with you to Valaki.
what time is it again, ish?
It is nearing evening. It is evening. It's just nearing nighttime.
Okay.
So, you know what?
Irina, we will help you bury your father. However, tonight is not the good. It is not the good time of the night to go outside. Can we? Is it acceptable to bury him in the morning tomorrow?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like he's gonna.
He's not going
watch
anywhere.
much of that time.
I hope.
Medic detects foreshadowing.
That's heartless. Yeah, your routines locate that. She says that's fine. We don't have many beds made up. The place is a disarray, but we can stay here if you so desire, and I'll round up some sort of food for us.
Do you mind? I would like to ask one thing. Do you have a hammer and some nails by chance?
Well, I'm sure we can find some. Yeah.
If you don't mind, it would make me feel much better if I could nail the coffin shut. This is a.
Say my goodbyes.
Please, we can open it up again tomorrow. I do not feel safe in this
Wouldn't it be more
land.
prudent to use the nails on the corpse itself to keep it from rising?
No.
That was your plan in the last area.
That is not accurate. That is not accurate. Irina, I promise that this is it is sincere. This is a strange land to us, and already for as short of a time as we have been here, this is known to have many strange things happening. So I would like for the possible danger to just be minimal.
She agrees, and she finds some nails, a hammer, and allows you to go ahead and put the coffin lid on as she cries, and Ismark wraps his arm around her shoulder, tries comforting her. He is also teared up a bit, but is not as profusely obvious as her. And it's during that let's see, I would like Medic to go ahead and do a perception or insight. Probably perception. Yeah, perception makes sense. All right. So you don't notice anything.
He's too busy focused on the weird symptoms that the Diedrich and Irina were. He's concerned it may be spreading.
While Diedrich is hammering the coffin.
Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Oh, the coffin!
The coffin. Medic.
Didn't roll for that.
Medic, would you mind checking Irina to see, since she was bitten, see if you can tell anything about what her condition is?
Yes. Or is
All right.
she in the same room? 1 second, I got something.
Yes.
Oh boy. What?
I show her this doll and I ask her where the vampire bit her. I don't know if you guys can see this doll.
Yeah, we can. Wow.
Yeah. She looks at it and she tries several different positions, like of her fingers. Say, this thing, and she points in between its head and its body.
Medic,
But that's.
just have her show you where she was bitten. On her body.
All right, roll a dex check, Medic.
With her permission, of course. Hashtag me too.
Yeah. Okay. So you whether hastily help her pull down her collar that she'd been propped up with some armor and armoring of the breastplate and whatnot, but you notice not just one but 2 bites.
2 holes or
Two
No,
sets.
2 bites. So
2
4
sets of bites?
holes.
Each side of the neck or one side of the neck?
One side of the neck separated by a couple inches.
Eiffel Tower.
Oh gosh, please no.
Do I need a do I in theory I have a medical database on all things, so do you want me to roll a medical check again on her and see if I can deduce anything, or I just look? They don't
Well,
look
you know it's a
infected.
vampire bite. Oh, that's what you want to check to see whether it's infected. You know,
We're trying to see. Essentially, I want to know if he can find out why she's not turning.
Well, you can ask her what you know, or what you want to know, or what she knows rather.
I guess I will ask her when she got bit. How long has it been since she got bit? I asked her if she has any symptoms.
The last bite, the last time had been 5 or 6 days ago, but all she remembers is a darkness and like the pitch black of night with no moon, but then glowing red eyes, and everything else is just fuzzy about it. And if you want to do a check on that, I'm going to say that this would be Diedrich with advantage. Give me an insight check.
Let's
Also,
go.
want to ask her if she knows if it was the same being, or can I tell if the bites are the same diameter or anything?
Yeah, I'll say that you can do that without really any effort.
Let's
no
go.
problem. Diedrich, you recognize immediately that she is describing a common scenario for a master level charm or enthrallment.
Mm-hmm.
She's not necessarily, being directly controlled right now, but she was charmed into standing still and allowing it, and her memories are clear distortions that are just based on the impression. They're not necessarily an accurate description of what was going on. It may not even been nighttime, for all you can tell.
Yeah.
As to the why she hasn't turned thing, I think Diedrich, you would probably know this as well, but just because of a body was bitten doesn't mean immediately that they'll turn. In some cases, yes, some weaker bodies will turn, but if they want to ensure a turning, they need to drain them till they die, or have them drink some of the vampire's blood. So it's very possible to feed off some people and them not turn.
Gotcha.
At least not until their death or something.
Okay.
I explained to him it's like a carrier for a disease. They might not show symptoms.
That's right. That's right.
Do you remember anything about the first incident, the first bite mark, or is it the same situation?
No, I do not.
It was.
Thank you, medic. Irina, same question to you, please.
She tells you that it was about a week before the other one, and all she remembers that day is heading out to get some supplies for the house, and she had not been bitten prior to that, so it was as good a day as they ever are out here. And she had walked by a store where a child was playing with a doll that had a remarkable similarity to her. It had her color hair. It even had some of her faces, and she said she's pretty sure it was one of those expensive, fancy Blinsky dolls. But anyway, that's the last thing she remembered before remember clearly anyway, before a voice called to her around the corner, and she turned, and then all she remembers is darkness and red eyes.
Do we have that doll that we got from that other house? Does anyone have that in their inventory?
You still have that.
I do.
Yeah, you still have that doll, but it does not look like that, no.
Okay, different doll. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I finished nailing the coffin shut. I'm sure I feel pretty good about how I did on it, as far as nothing might escape or take something serious to escape.
It's not a particularly strong coffin. They were doing it themselves, so it is somewhat fragile. But as far as to your efforts, you realize that there's no problem. I'll also say, since you're right over there, you didn't see any bite marks on the old guy, and the medic had done a check and confirmed they actually died of fear. So
yeah, but I don't trust you, so.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Wow. I don't know what I've done to deserve that.
You know exactly. I mean, maybe not exactly, but you know generally enough why I would say that.
Wow. Terrible.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you guys gonna spend the night then?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel. Go ahead.
I want to ask Ismark if he feels like it's safe to.
You cut out on me. Safe to what?
I'd like to ask Ismark, the brother, if it's safe to spend the night here.
Yeah, he nods and encourages you, and he says, in fact, it'll be safer with you here. The wolves haven't happened the last couple nights, and so it's probably just fine.
Okay.
And when was the last time they saw ghouls?
Same time. So a few days ago.
Okay.
Basically right before the father died.
Okay.
And he mentions offhand that, and as a side note, the DM is very reliable and
Right.
Can we? Is there a room we can put the coffin in for the night?
It's in its own. It's in its own alcove area. Right. It's in it almost. Yeah, it didn't have a door. That room is separated by an archway that would have been a tea room or something like that previously, and the house itself has somewhat flawed structures. That even though it's a larger home, it's old and it's a bit deteriorated, so nothing looks particularly strong. If you wanted to move into another room with a door, you could, however, just someone else would, either sleep next to him or somewhere else.
Who wants to sleep with the creepy dead guy?
Medic volunteers.
Okay.
He's concerned about his patient. He also kind of thinks that Diedrich should sleep in the room too, because he's still concerned he might have symptoms of whatever that loss of blood to his brain was.
No, Diedrich's not sleeping in there.
All right. Well, you guys make your arrangements then. I take it you are going to move the coffin to a room that you can close.
And lock.
Yes.
From the
Okay.
outside.
Well, that means you put stuff up against it, sure. Okay. So you guys do that. She provides, she starts cooking you guys dinner. Can I get a constitution check from each of you, please? Oh, actually, constitution save, not check.
Boy.
I mean, I don't eat.
I know.
This makes me nervous.
Okay, yeah, so...
Also don't trust someone that looks that awesome as a warrior to make me dinner.
This is prior to you guys actually eating. So, starting with you, Gimbleforth, you feel an intense hunger and a craving. It's basically the feelings of withdrawal starting to happen. For Diedrich, Val, and Medic, you guys all have reduced hit points as you're suffering more severely. I want to keep track of this, so each of you take note that you're losing 2 hit points in the hand.
Meaning our max?
Except for Gimbleforth. Our max, yeah, your max hit points. And you all are experiencing that same withdrawal as the effects of the bonus health and stuff draw off, and you have no more of the food present.
Oh, crap.
Okay. So anyway, she provides you food. Go ahead.
So you're saying we need to change that ourselves in our sheet?
No, I did it. I just want you to remind me that I've done that, and we have to keep track of it so I don't forget it, because I don't want to keep you permanently messed up until you're dead.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So they provide you food. It doesn't seem to be particularly fancy. Irina seems to swoon now and then as the night approaches. Darkness really takes over the town even more than normal. The food is fair and simple, but is deemed safe by your medic. Consumption doesn't cause any ill effects and does in fact technically provide nutrition. However, you guys all look like you have a bit of a hangover. Only Gimbleforth is seeming to shake off most effects. He still wants the pastries. You're jonesing for it. Alright, so you guys go down to rest for the night. I take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so that's gonna be fun. The night passes mostly without event, except that you guys are awake for a lot of it. It's not as refreshing as it should have been, as you guys know.
AKA we're... Okay, I'll let you keep going.
No, that's it. So you wake up in the morning and...
Are we...
Well...
Do we get a full rest out of this?
Yeah, you're gonna get a full rest. I'm gonna grant it. But your hit points obviously aren't maxed, so you're missing some.
Crap. Alright, well I get 25 anyways. 26.
Well, I reduced you by 2.
Yeah, I know, but I was already reduced by 3 because of my Blood Hunter stuff.
Oh, so you're reducing it by 1. Yeah, okay. So you added 1 back because you don't have your Blood Hunter thing on. Is what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So we need to remove that effect off of you then. Okay, done. Yeah. All right. So no issues other than that. and the corpse did not rise up in the night. The smell of the stink is potent even on the other side of whatever room you guys locked him in.
The full rest, do you do that or do we take our wounds off?
Oh, I thought you had your wounds off already. Whoopsie.
I did not.
I can do that though. Nope, I'll fix it.
I didn't know if you had like a button that does a full rest or something.
I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, there you go. That's done. Those of you who have spells have them ready. Ismark and Irina are ready for you guys to help in transferring the coffin, if you so desire.
Diedrich, you're the one that promised. Do you want to go help them bury the coffin?
Yeah.
That would be helpful too.
Yeah, I would absolutely do that.
Oh, whoops. Actually, I already rolled.
False trail.
Yeah, I realized I'd already rolled, so that's actually irrelevant. Okay, so as you guys are bringing the corpse out, who's doing the actual carrying?
I carry it.
Imagine.
I've got very little strength.
I'm super strong. I mean,
Irina noticed.
Yeah. Sees her sweet robotic muscles and just looks over at Diedrich
Alright.
like,
Oh, but I got some dex.
So
I got
I'm
some
gonna
dex.
say that's the motion in the ocean, right? So I'm gonna say though that Medic is carrying this by himself, and he looks like. Do you remember in the third Terminator movie? I think it's the third one.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Wings.
yes.
That's what I'm seeing right now.
That's
in my mind's
exactly what I was envisioning. I'll be honest with you. That is the vision I had in my head. I really wish I had sunglasses. The monocle.
Right. You smear some mud on it to make it dark, and you walk out with a single darkened monocle. All right. As you guys are walking through the town, feeling mostly hungover, there's some stirring in the city that's normal for morning activities. People selling their wares. It's still very much a subdued town. It's not like this is a sudden celebration, but it is at least moving around and people are out. There is, in fact, a pastry shop is there, along with several other small vendors that could provide food or drink. But you'll notice that there's no one offering any mulled wine right now. When you are, let's see, who has passive wisdom of 11 or more? I'm going to say that would be...
How do we know what our passive wisdom is?
So, Medic, basically, you're fine. You guys all have it. It would be tough for you not to have it. A scarecrow, you see this appearance in the middle of the city center before you get to the church, Medic. It looks like a scarecrow lurching into view. Its sackcloth eyes and rictus are ripe with malevolence, and its gut is stuffed with dead ravens, and its long rusted knives for claws. And you no sooner see it and then try to assess it when it's gone.
Darn it! I wanted to roll a medical save because he looked like he got stuffed full of dead ravens. You got something wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, other than that, you get to the church that you guys were at before, right here. In case you can, you probably can see that.
Do we? Because we looked for tracks last time we were there. Do we see anything new outside the church, like tracks or anything that was different from what
No.
Okay.
No.
And is the guy's son that we killed, is he still inside?
Oh, you burned him, didn't you?
Yes.
We burned his
Not the
son.
guy.
We saved the guy.
Oh, I thought you meant the son. Sorry, that's what I was asking.
No.
Well, the door to the church is closed. Are you going to knock on the door? I imagine you
Nope.
mostly have to.
Even then, I think that's a bad idea.
There's got to be a way around.
All right, I'll go ahead and roll an investigation or perception or something. Yeah, perception. As you guys are splitting up to try to find an opening. Yeah, okay. So, Medic, you recognize a pretty handy spot for you to slide between parts of the fencing that has broken down with time and perhaps abuse, and
Arena
are able to walk. Yeah, Arena's with you guys.
I let her know it's because Deidre killed his son. He had to be sneaky and burned his corpse.
I
mean,
didn't.
to me-
I didn't burn his corpse. You guys did.
Oh, I didn't burn his corpse.
You were
You
there.
burned his corpse. I was there, but you were there too.
I was in the church trying to
No,
take
my
care of
church was
the
in
old
the
guy.
Yeah, I think
By the
Val and
transitive property of math.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
Wow. All right.
Well, I just let her know
Alright.
that we can't go through the church because we killed his son and burned his corpse. I just say it casually too. She's curious. She's probably curious as to why we're sneaking through the church. Let her take away that. See, for me, I'm thinking he doesn't think that's. It's like, oh well, we killed his son and burned. That's why we can't go in. Let her take away from that what.
She is rather intimidated, but so much so that she doesn't even ask. She just doesn't know what to think.
I'll offer up. We had to kill his son because he had been bitten and drained and turned to a vampire.
Oh my God!
What might happen to
You know
you?
whoever's bitten.
He was bitten. He had turned. We had
She
no.
pulls her collar up a little farther, buttons her blouse a little tighter. Is very careful as she looks out of the side of her glance at you, as she's trying to pretend like she doesn't.
You are not.
notice.
You are not in any danger right now, as you have not turned as far as we know.
Unless your disease progresses to the point of which you did, then we'll be forced to terminate your life and then burn your body.
That is accurate.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad I have you guys to help me. This is wonderful.
It is
All
our
right, so you
pleasure.
guys, each of you give me a perception check, and this is for separate things, so just go for it.
Whoops, I did nature.
Okay. It's very faint. Very, very faint, Diedrich, but you're able to make out shapes in the fog, the light fog that is similar to the ghostly ramblings that you guys saw in the afternoon. Well, you didn't see it before, Diedrich.
I did not.
Yeah, so it's a little different. But you, upon looking, see a very short, looks like a child almost, female, and she's walking, dragging a mace and a small rod in her other hand.
Jeez.
And she looks dejected and sad, and then before fading off into the mists. Anyway, so you guys finish your, you bury the body, since you sneaked through. Donovan, I think that's his name, didn't actually come out and see you guys, so you're successfully burying without any notice. Irina, however, is bothered by the fact that there's no proper speaking over his grave, no last rites. It's not right. It's just not fair. She wants to get the priest.
Perhaps you can do that, and we might have another place to go and find out some information while you have the priest speak over the body. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
'Cause I think that's pretty reasonable. It'll be easy. Oh yeah. She nods wholeheartedly in agreement. Says it makes sense, and arranges to meet with you back at the house by this evening.
Very good.
Wait, hold
All right.
on.
So with
Wait. She has a history of bolting though, doesn't she? We talked about that in the last game. Like every time she got outside, I thought that was her.
well, at nighttime they don't leave her. They don't let her out anymore because of this, which is happening, and she's not remembering it, and she gets loopy. a little out of it in the evenings when the darkness starts to descend. So that's why she said meet you at the house by then. Ismark will make sure that she's there.
Okay. So Ismark staying with her?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's his father, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have options for you now. You've heard about some issues with wine, but you could go find out more about that if you wanted at the tavern. You know that to the west, following the Sierra Pool, is another internment of gypsies, not an internment camp.
Oh, wow.
Like today's leftists would try to make it sound like.
Oh boy.
Demonetized.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway. Yeah, so you have some options. There's others beyond that. What would you like to do next?
Well, so first, whenever we get out of earshot, I would like to mention to the rest of the group that I think it sounds like whoever or whatever the wolves are, whoever the wolves serve, werewolves, whatever they may be, if they are, mentioned last time that I thought that it could be possible that it's the gypsy people, whatever they're called, and but also I think it's interesting that they would have stopped attacking the church whenever, presumably because the vampire died, which would indicate that they don't actually serve Strahd, especially since he wanted to torment the priest. He wouldn't have sent somebody to kill the priest if he wanted to keep the priest alive and torment him. So it sounds like there's a group out there that's trying to kill potential vampires that's not necessarily aligned with Strahd. So I think these folks that we're trying to help out are wrong in some fashion.
But the wolves stopped when Irene's dad died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But she
Sorry.
was, and he wasn't, and as far as we know, he wasn't a vampire.
Correct.
Okay, I misunderstood that part. Well, then
Well, they
why
both
would-
have had because you already asked me if there was anything from the night before, and no, there was no more tracks from the night before at the church. But you also know that the attacks at the house, which include wolves and ghouls, perhaps some undead, those also stopped on their own at a separate time. That corresponds with the death of the father, Arena's father. So it's two different things, two different pieces.
Yeah, and it could be. So, did we determine that that it was actually werewolves at the church, or was that
No,
no?
you saw dog prints, but you guys rolled poorly, so.
Okay, so the prints, as far as we know, are basically the same in both places.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
So we were
Well,
talking
it's still
about
an
going to
interesting
the
scenario.
we were talking about going to the
Yeah.
tavern and checking things out, right?
Or that's where we met Ismark.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But
but you pretty much quickly left, but you never found
Yeah.
out more about the wine. So you could go back if you wanted.
I think, I mean, just to, round table this, I think checking out the gypsies feels like it might be more fruitful.
Isn't that on the way to Viscaria or wherever we need to go for her anyways?
Yes, it is. Balaki.
That's it.
And I mean, could we go there and be back in time to meet them at the house in the afternoon? Conceivably.
We probably wouldn't know that.
Well, you don't know the exact. Yeah, you don't know the exact location. You just know it's to the west. Realistically, you think it would be possible, but provided there was no hindrances along the way.
Gotcha.
I will say that you guys all still really have this hankering for pastries, and the smell is just still in your nose from when you went through.
Yeah, but if I'm feeling hungover, nope.
Yeah, but the way addictions work, it's not just because you feel crappy. It's like, oh man, I need that again.
Well, then hungover probably wasn't the right choice of words.
Well, I said you looked hungover, but you're feeling withdrawals. So, whatever. Baggy-eyed.
I'm not going to go
So
get
anyway.
any more anyways, because I think I'm self-disciplined enough to know what caused it and not want to go back.
Well, then we
Okay.
share with the group, D. Ricky, about what caused it.
Ricky.
I noticed that I felt super good after eating the pastries a couple nights ago, and now that I feel like not as good and I really want them, that to me is obviously the culprit, and I will not go back.
Yeah, I mean, would we have
All
some
right.
indication that it was like an unnatural kind of craving?
Could I tell from medical
Well,
check that it was addiction or withdrawal symptoms?
Yeah, so I'll let you roll on that. I think that you guys would all recognize that it's related to the pastries. Because
I have no idea what Falcon Punch is,
Val, you
but
couldn't
I'm
hear
not
anything
surprised.
from that joined spirit with you last night, by the way. It's almost like you went deaf to it. Whereas right after that you had the pie, things were very vivid and very easy to hear and clear. It's the exact opposite right now. It's like you've gone deaf to it. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I'd like to go back into town and find the pastry lady and ask why in a town that's starving she's serving pastry.
I don't have that spell.
Well, okay, that's gonna be a simple answer. Because where else would you want to sell pastries to but a place where people are hungry?
Well, but like
Just
we're
throwing
like,
it out there.
well, but like we were just in the mayor's house, right? And all they had was simple food.
Scott, that's very true. I'm not practiced at deep throating.
Like,
Yeah. All right, so you want to stop by to her? Okay.
Yeah,
You guys in agreement?
No, I'll
Yeah, I
follow.
think so.
Okay. As you guys approach, this kindly old lady with a shawl on her head is waving and pointing to her various pastries. Now, she doesn't recognize you guys as a customer because she never sold anything to you. So she says, "Free samples for anyone who'd like some," or maybe like,
"Free samples for any who would like some. Come here, come all."
And she encourages. Her eyes light up a little bit as she sees you guys come closer, and she starts cutting up a pastry right into quarters so that you guys could each have a small slice if you wanted.
Nope.
I'm hanging back.
I want a will save from each of you guys. 15. Well, no, 12 and above because it's not that strong. So
I feel like I should roll the rolls at advantage because
natural 20.
I'll grant that, medic. Yeah, Diedrich, you're right. You were very strong in resisting it.
I think I can reroll. Let me check my abilities real quick. I think I can reroll this kind of save.
I wouldn't be surprised if you had some sort of hack for changing it. And then this one thing, if I look at her cross-eyed, I automatically get advantage and a redo with advantage.
Well, I have like notes on useful things, but I don't know where I found that.
You can't blame us in a game like this for metaing when on character creation.
No, I don't blame you. As long as you don't mind the fact that I sometimes have to counter meta.
No.
All right, I'll give you a little bit to try to find that.
Let's see. Dual mind. When you make a wisdom saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain advantage on the roll. You can use this trait immediately before or after you roll, before any of the roll's effects occur. Okay, so yeah. So I'll use my reaction to re-roll that.
Okay.
Would you know to react to it, though?
I wouldn't think so. I know we shot this down before because it wasn't a combat situation, but if you really don't want to know what happens, go ahead and re-roll. We'll see. Maybe you'll get unlucky anyway.
Yay!
Nope, you succeeded.
Well, and it's an
But
advantage.
for the record,
It's not like
yeah.
it's not a reroll. It's an advantage. So
Oh.
yeah. Anyway.
Well, Yeah. Okay.
Again, though, yeah, it's not a particular spell affecting you. But all right, it's fine. It's all good. That's fine. So you guys resist.
I wanted to see
You're
what was going to
finding your
happen to him.
fingernails- Yeah, I was looking forward to it actually. I was getting ready to adjust his hit point die and everything, but whatever. Okay, so you guys successfully resist, and she says, "Oh, come on, just try a piece. It'll open your mind. It'll fill your belly. It'll warm your soul. It's the best my daughters and I have ever made. We've done this for years, and one day they'll take over my business even. But right now, this is my recipe, and it's really good. Come on." She looks and sees that she's losing you guys quickly, and shrugs, and sort of looks past you. "Well, have a good day. Thank you for stopping by," she says. If you wanted to ask her something, you can now, but...
I ask her what kind
Mac,
of drugs are laced inside of her food.
She looks at you aghast and puts a hand to her chest. "Drugs? Oh my gosh. No. It's just, several herbs and spices, and oh, that flaky crust is so hard to make, layer after layer after layer, and then just your choice of whether you want a sweet or savory. It's nothing unusual. I eat them all the time, in fact." And she picks one up and takes a bite. "See? Oh, it's delicious."
Yeah, if you eat them, you never get withdrawals.
Common addict sign. All the symptoms. Crusty, pasty old lady.
Yeah, can he tell if
started to
she's
cut
addicted to it too? Or can I ask Medic to check? I'll ask Medic if he can check her to tell if she's addicted.
I think that'd be really hard for him to tell. I'm gonna say you can't tell,
Aw,
but I'm not sure you would know that you couldn't tell.
Okay.
So, yes, no, Idaho.
Before she goes, I would like to ask her. Tell her pastries look delicious, but they look like they'd be really good with wine. Does she know where we can get any?
Ooh.
Oh, she nods her head toward the tavern across the street, which is you guys are actually been talking right here. It's over here, and she says, "But good luck finding enough. Seems that it's the Wizard of the Wine's winery is having trouble, and they haven't been able to produce, or at least give us, the wine that we're supposed to have."
Where is this Wizard of the Wine's winery?
She points out that she's never actually been there herself, but give me a moment and I'll actually pull it up. Because I imagine she probably would have heard of where this is. Yeah, Wizards of Wines. It's not showing me a map link. Approaching the vineyard. Okay. That's pretty funny. I have all this stuff, but I don't actually see the location. I'll put it this way. She gives you a description, and you can follow it if you so desire, and I'll just find it. So she gives you some basic instructions. It's not super close based on the fact that the map doesn't show it right here. So I think you'd have some distance.
In Day's journey, what did she think?
Yeah, a couple days probably.
Yeah, okay.
It's gotta be near the Amber Temple or something. Huh.
is this her talking or are you talking?
That was me. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. I found it finally. But let me share this map to you guys again if I haven't done it already. And then I'm going to reveal what she describes is roughly in... Ooh, I better not do it this way. I'm going to say, I'll do it with an arrow and say that it's roughly in this type of area. Did I point? Can you see the...
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
past Wallachia.
Yeah, yes.
Wallachia.
And what's this place called?
And I was... This is... Well, it's actually called the Wizard of Wines. It's a large vineyard.
Right.
She said you would recognize it by just the sheer amounts of, vineyard space and grapes and whatnot. If you went west of Valaki and then eventually took a southern road, you should find your way there. It's near the Svalich Woods.
Okay.
So this addiction that we seem to have, he was able to detect that, right? Medic detected that we were addicted, right?
Yeah, he can analyze. Yeah.
So
Well, and you guys know too. I don't think that you wouldn't realize you got a
Right.
serious
Withdrawal
hankering.
systems, yeah.
well, like, would he? So does Medic know what? Like, so we're gonna continue to experience like severe withdrawal? Is this gonna get worse? Like, how big of a deal is this?
Oh, okay.
Is there any way I
Fair
could tell
enough.
what kind of symptoms it was by analyzing them? Like, I don't think I would have symptoms. It must be magical or something. I don't get. But
Right.
that's a really excellent question.
If you wanted to have be able to get the bonuses from it, so you had to be able to get the negatives from it. That was my logic for the reasoning.
Oh, I was just eating it like a goop. I didn't know there were bonuses. I was just like jamming it in my face like my non-working mouth hole and letting it crumble to the ground to be more.
Yeah, but we ended up saying when you saw they were getting bonuses that you had a little analyzer tray that popped out, and we put it in. So, yeah, it's not like voodoo magic. So, you theoretically could probably detect more if you were to get another sample, or if you were to get enough examples of blood from the people that are affected by it and people that are not affected by it, and do a comparison.
All right, I pull a knife out. And
Nope.
I'll ask them all to give me their hand.
I start walking towards the tavern.
I walk quickly behind him with the knife out.
Okay, you do that.
Medic puts the knife away.
I just need a gallon or two of your blood to find out what you were.
Medic, put the knife away.
Your species has at least 4 gallons of blood, correct? 10, I think?
I've never counted the gallons of my blood, and I don't intend to.
You'd have a pretty good guesstimate of how much blood he would have because he's been killed
What?
before.
Bleeding. Well, I think he has a ton because he's taken some bad wounds and he's doing.
All right, so if you're not going to actually stab him with it,
Am I still by the old lady? Can I ask for a sample but not eat it? Just like.
She said you could have a sample.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to take a sample. I will take you up on your offer of a sample, miss. And I crumble it and put it into a little thing to scan it, and then immediately disperse of it.
I would like to do an Arcana check on it as well, if I could do that while he looks at it from a medicine angle.
Okay.
Ooh, 22.
Uh-huh. It's pretty good. You recognize that she's mostly been accurate with you, Medic, but you cannot. You've identified some plant resins that you're not familiar with. And Val, you actually do get the slightest sense of a magic over it, almost like it's been imprinted with magic near it. It may not actually itself be enchanted, but it's been close enough to magic to have been affected. If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I've got an alchemist kit. I'm curious-ish if I could do anything with that to check its properties and replicate good while taking out bad. Probably not, but I'm curious. But I also I don't know if I care enough to actually try.
That's very interesting proposal. So, I'll let you set up your alchemy kit somewhere, or begin the process, and then it'll take like a day or so to properly do your separations and estimates and let it be in solution and whatnot. So if you want to start that process, we'll just note that you figure it'll be ready by the next day to at least know more, and we'll roll on it. I want to point out, medic, that you noticed some plant resins and a high amount of calcium. Sounds very nutritious.
So what was the conclusion on how this was gonna, or if we knew from medic how this was going to affect us going forward? Like, is this going to be really debilitating? Like,
He needed blood in order to have a chance of predicting what is going to happen.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Well, I can give him some blood then, but not like a gallon. I'm gonna ask him how much he needs.
I will take. I take just a little of his blood, and assume it's...
All right, so so Val, you hold out your hand. I take it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So do a dex do a dex save, Val.
I adjust my monocle. Pull out sharpest looking knife I have.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not good.
All right. So he goes to poke you, and then and it goes right into your hand, like half an inch deep. But
Wonderful.
Plenty of blood pools up. Son of a biscuit. And anyway, he begins collecting. Okay, I'm gonna have you roll at disadvantage, medic, because you don't know exactly what you're looking for, and you're not particularly skilled sometimes to even know what species you're dealing with.
That's
Yes.
true. 17.
Oh,
with
nice.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's pretty good.
That's not bad. You've detected an aberration from what you can, from normal quote mind flares, because for some reason that's what you thought they were at the moment, and you believe that the resin that is in their blood will continue to stay there for at least another day or two. So, in your estimations, they have a 70% chance of getting worse.
I let them know this.
So how bad is worse? What does that mean?
That means dropping more
He's unable to
HPs.
quantify.
Without more data.
Nope, not giving you any blood.
So I propose that we.
Medic is flattered, but he's not looking for a relationship.
I think we should fairly forcefully question this woman about her croissants or whatever they may be.
I mean, to what end?
Well, to find out what exactly has been done to this. She may not even be aware of it, but presumably knowing more about it could be helpful in reducing the effects. I'm not saying we should attack her. But
I mean, we gotta kill the day anyway, right?
Well, we've got to find out about this wine thing in the tavern too, and.
I mean, did you say that she was?
Your wine.
Did you say she was about to pack up and leave? I mean, we could just follow her.
No.
No. Okay.
It's morning, and she's a cart salesperson.
I thought he said
Right.
something about like I just misremembered.
Hmm.
So I guess I'll just start off by being honest with her and explain that this has something in it that is having like a magical effect on us. Clearly has some components in it that are not normal for this type of pastry, and it's having a magical effect on us, and we're going through withdrawal for not having them. And so I would like her to explain why this is happening, what she put in there.
All right, give me a persuasion check, please.
So, before I do that, just a quick question. So I know you're not supposed to do like persuasion checks multiple times, but my thought with this is I'm better at intimidating, and I'm prepared to intimidate, but I don't really want to do that first. So, I mean, just from the perspective of making it sound
Ain't
like
that a pickle?
real. Well, no, I mean from a storytelling perspective. Like, I don't want to just go around and be like, oh, I'm going to rip your face off if you don't tell me this thing, but I may progress to that. So, do you want to just tell me then that I fail on the actual getting anywhere with the initial thing, and then I'll follow up with my intimidate. I guess is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not going to basically do an imaginary roll for something. You'll get your opportunity. You choose how you're going to take it. Keep in mind you are in a town, and the center has other people there, so you will not be completely alone.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean completely alone?
Meaning, if you intimidate someone, you might have some adverse effects from other people.
Right. Well, I demand that she tell us what she put in her pastries.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
Oh my goodness. I've never gotten a good roll on that, despite getting advantage on it.
She looks at you and she furrows her brow a little bit, leans forward. She goes, "Honey, are you cranky? Now, it's there's no need to be mad. I would give you a whole pie for free if you just asked nice. I mean, I'd even let you.
You got to use the voice when you talk about pie.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Now come on, honey. You want me to make you some pie in front of everyone? I'll take you to my daughters and they can show you how it's done.
Oh gosh.
So happy.
So she's offering to show us how she makes her pies? Because I'll take her up on that.
She's willing to direct you to where her place is. She works at a mill, basically. She has her and her daughters have a mill, and she'll take you there if you so desire.
Do you guys want to go and check this place out?
I was gonna say, can we split up a little bit because we still have other stuff we need to do? What time of day is it? Because we need to get back before night.
It'd still be morning.
Yeah, it's still morning.
How far away is it?
She says it's a few hours journey. She gets out very early in the morning.
I'll go with whatever you guys want to do. I don't want to go by myself or anything. It's not that important. We could go later or something another day.
Gimby, what do you want to do?
I want to go get Irene out of the cemetery and get on the road. Or Irene, whatever her name is. Last rites don't take all day.
I'd be interested in finding out the wine situation. I'm not sure how well this is going to play out. The pastry situation is going to play out for us, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my main concern is reducing the effects of whatever withdrawal we may be going through in like a day or so.
You can reduce the effects by eating more.
That's true.
It's just going to put it off until...
Yeah.
You basically never stop eating.
Exactly. Just get an infinite supply, and you're always on the high.
Did you decide that you were going to set up your alchemy kit or not?
I'd take a real small sample. Yeah, but we don't have a full day.
Put up your butt.
Yes, exactly.
No.
No, probably not, because I'm not gonna take a whole day to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm good with just leaving this then and doing something different.
We can just fight through it. Surely at some point it will wear off, and we will not be near her to get more pastry.
Yeah, I'm pretty much staying away from pastries from now on.
Yeah, I think that's probably
Right,
good.
power through the pastries to the tavern.
Thank you, ma'am, for your
Do you need the tavern people as well? Right now, you do technically know the direction to go for the wines.
Yeah,
It's too far away.
true. No, but yeah, the point is, do we need to waste time talking to the people in the tavern, when we know really where the wine's coming from, they're probably going to tell us the same thing.
So why don't we just go get brother and sister, tell them to wrap things up and hit the highway?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Would we have seen, in the time that we've been doing this, would we have seen them walk back yet?
Give me a perception check for all 4 of you at disadvantage.
You ready?
You do disadvantage. You bottom left. You click the dis
Yeah.
before doing your. Yeah,
17.
Diedrich, you noticed out of the corner of your eye when they went back.
Okay.
So you know that they had finished saying the rites and were heading home. So they're probably going to be back at their place if you wanted to meet up with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. So you guys go back to the house. You find them. Ismark and Irina are somewhat quiet, subdued, emotionally worn down from the events of that morning. And Ismark lets you know that he appreciates your help. And he would like to go with you. However, now that his father's gone, he's effectively the acting burgomaster.
Yeah, good. I was actually going to ask that question of him. Now I don't have to.
Okay. So he appreciates it. It gives you some general directions, tells you to follow the river until the road crosses north, and then really, Irina would know the way for the most part anyway, but just keep her safe, keep her protected, and in Vallaki, look for family there. And she can help with that too, of course. But he'll stay behind, and Irina is willing to go with you guys, and she's appreciative of the help. Although every time she sees you, Diedrich, she pulls up her collar a little bit higher, and a little tighter around her neck.
It's alright, I don't blame her. Might have to try and sweet talk her on the way, though.
Sweet, sweet talking. Alright, so you guys begin your journey then, or do you, because it's only a little bit later in the morning, like 10:30, 11:30, somewhere in there.
Yeah, right?
I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, I think that's a decent time to get started.
Okay.
Rather than go straight to Vallaki, since it's pretty much on the way anyways, my objective would be to see the gypsies.
Yep. You realize that would actually be very tough to make it all the way to Vallaki in one day anyway.
Yeah, cool.
You'd need some horses and no interruptions. Okay, so you begin your journey westward, doing as they said, crossing the river Ivlis. It's actually a very clear as blue winter sky. That river is, which is unusual considering that everything else is so drab. This water itself is almost bright, so clean and pretty, roughly 50 foot wide. There is one bridge that you guys see here, and you're able to cross it. It's in good repair, no issues. Now I need a dice roll. Alright, fine. You guys come to a crossing in the road, and basically to the north there's more forest that you can tell, and a sound of water, and then to the south it looks like it's going out into the plains a bit. Which do you want to take?
Ask Irina. Irina, do you know which way is the best here? Do you have any information on this?
Oh, well, Vallaki, you can go to either one. It depends on, whether you want to be near a river or not. That's really about it.
What do you know about the river? It seems to be much more clear and than I would have expected.
Oh, the river comes from Mount Gakkus. It's just spring river, basically. Spring water in the mountains, coming down, and it's beautiful. It rushes out, and this time of year it is effectively flowing fast enough that it's clean. That's it as far as I know.
Okay. Do you guys have any input on direction?
You guys did have instructions told to you at some point.
No, I definitely didn't write it
I
down.
figure. And Irina does not know where the gypsies are.
I think we need to keep following the river. Right?
I'll second that. Sure.
All right.
Anyone else have any thought on that? I thought the gypsies were along the river, right?
Yep.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah, okay.
It does not take long before you notice the multicolored tents and actually, you know what? Yeah.
Hey, good job, Group.
Woohoo!
Yep. The road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here next to the river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. Actually, I'll go ahead and reveal that since that's been mentioned now. Oops, I guess I gotta re-enable that. Did that do it? Yeah, it did.
Do we, as we're coming into this clearing, do we notice any of the dog footprints that we saw at the church?
Do an inspection. Perception or investigation. Either one is okay. You do not notice anything. There's mournful strains of an accordion clashing with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the rivers and the forest's edge. There's 8 draft horses drinking from the river that are clearly used for pulling their own individual sets of these wagons. I can actually share the screen now. Think about it. I'm just gonna leave the whole thing uncovered. There's people around the fire. You can't see them, but they're there. There are 12 variously colored Istani standing and sitting around the fire, telling stories and already guzzling wine. Even though it's only the afternoon, they are intoxicated. At least that's what it seems like to you guys.
I would like to go up and ask where they got the wine from.
That's a good question. All right. You approach, and they are actually pleasantly, congenial. They don't have any they don't seem to be at all threatened by you, and they are being friendly with your approach. So they say, "Wine? Oh, we bring our own wine. Why wouldn't we?" Oh, it's good. Do you want some?
No, thank you.
I have some extra. Right over here. Come on, sit down. Come on, no, I have no person sitting near my fire who doesn't drink with me.
Is anyone going?
He looks at you guys just staring at him. He's like,
I don't drink.
whatever.
I won't be rude. I'll join him. I
Alright.
still feel a little hungover from pastries, so might as well be hungover from.
He's like, there, a man, after my own heart. Yeah, that's what I was saying, wasn't it, Birgit? Yeah, he was. So come here. And he gives you a flagon, and you drink some, and it's a little sweeter than you like, but otherwise appears to be fine, just typical wine. Not particularly high quality, but it's the type that you just keep on drinking. And I'm going to point out here. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have each of you give me a roll on. What would make most sense here? Well, I still think it'd probably be perception. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check, each of you. So Diedrich, Medic, you recognize that there is a lower alcohol content in the breath of one person that's sitting with their back up against one of the wagons, and he's looking very intently at you. And when he notices you guys seeing him, he says, I think you might be the one that Ava mentioned. She foretold your coming. She said one of metal and of great height. Yes, you are most certainly what she described. I thought maybe she had lost her mind, because that seems very strange, but yeah, it must be you. She awaits you, and he points you to the larger tent that's got lanterns and stuff burning, even though it's not dark right now. I mean, it's foggy as normal, but it's not nighttime. And he points you to the tent. She awaits, he says.
Oh, I'll start heading that way.
Are we all invited?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm following.
Well, she said it to the robot, but you guys can go all together if you want, or not.
Yeah, I mean, we knew. I think we all knew that we were supposed to go see her anyways, so.
Yep. Okay.
Dang it, I just found a friend who has wine that's not trying to kill me.
You can stay there. You don't have to go.
I'm fine. I will.
You play. You get your bagpipes out and play, and drink, and we're gonna.
Hold on. I would like to break out my bagpipes and just start playing a little ditty.
Oh my gosh!
Nice.
Oh man! All right, so they immediately start dancing and hopping their, slapping their feet in this dance that's a bit foreign to you, and it is such a good performance that a couple of the considerably more attractive girls are showing some notable interest in you, and the alcohol is flowing, so they are a little more free with their compliments, and they're pull you in to dance with them, except that you're playing as well, so they just mostly have their hands on your shoulders and cheering with you, basically.
Yeah.
Good for you, little buddy. Good for you. You stay.
I scan them for venereal diseases to alert.
You would need some samples from them. You can't tell that from a distance.
Oh boy. Nope.
I'll get back to you on that.
Samples. Can you look at this for me? Oh God.
It's too late.
Oh man. While you're there, before I switch to the group going there, one of them starts telling a story as the girls sit down and or encourage you to listen, and basically one on each side of you, and he ends up telling you, and this is basically concurring with them going to the tent. It's just that I'm going to do this one first, right? So they're in the tent, and you're hearing this tale of a mighty wizard that came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing, a very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd. He stirred them up with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. The battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes. Thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard. Yet, by his magic, he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic couldn't save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body to see if, had anything of value. But the river Ivlis had already spirited him away. I don't remember his name, but it sounded very important. Anyway. Alright, so for those of you that are in the tent, or heading to the tent, magic flames are casting a reddish glow over the interior of this tent that you reveal as you slide the cloth door to the side. It reveals a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure appears in its depths. As a crone speaks, yeah, better get that ready actually. As the crone speaks, she's going to sound very familiar to you guys. She says,
At last you have arrived. Oh, I knew you'd be here.
she actually calls each of you out by name, and effectively seems to know more about you than you do yourself. Who is roll for initiative, guys, so I know who's come through first. Not Gimbleforth, since you're out there getting other information and perhaps sex.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Val.
Daedric and Medic walk in holding hands.
That's pretty amazing, actually. She goes, Val, you are called. And she begins to relay seeing you in a back when you were but a younger man. Not that you're old now, but you were younger, and you were first coming to terms with this spirit that was joined with you. She says to you something you did not know. She says, did you know that those spirits that you bind with have their own families? Not just the ones that are passed down. I mean their own families. Have you thought, even considered, that perhaps the spirit that is bound to you has actually been driving you to find its own family? I don't think you have, but you'll find it's not alone here. Then it switches over to the two of you holding hands. She does, and Daedric, she says, do you remember your uncle?
I have an uncle?
He's played this game for so long, even you don't know. Do you think your father was the only hunter? No.
I knew there was more, but I did not know.
Families are kept separate to try to protect them, but yours failed you. Yes, but another has come here before you. Maybe? No, not maybe. You will meet him. You will see your uncle. He goes by many names, however. You'll have to discern this. It's blocked from me. Then she looks over at you, Medic, and says, you're one of the strangest ones yet. Inside you is an actual life. An actual life, you strange monstrosity. I don't know if you realize how strange that is. Your kind is rare. It is strange, but you're the strangest of them all. You'll find more, for the one that made you has been here. She says, I know what you want, and I'm prepared to show you what I can. My kind is generally sworn to Strahd. She whispers that word name. However, there's an end to everything that must come. So if you're willing, if you're ready, I will read your cards, and they will tell you what you need to know to win.
Yes, but please.
I want to see my card.
Alright, so she takes the deck, she shuffles it, starts laying it out in a cross pattern. And as she does so, she says, she flips one over so that only she can see it. You guys still see the back of the card. She goes, this card tells of history. knowledge of the ancient that will help you better understand your enemy. And I think that's enough for tonight. We'll have to continue next game. As she's holding the card, and you do not see what it is yet. That way you guys will show up, and Magneto will skip his whatever the family thing he's got going on. That would be for our next game. Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's going to be potentially troublesome for me, too. In 2 weeks.
Oh boy.
I'm actually going to be
What's the-
camping, I think, but I might have Wi-Fi out there.
Oh.
Sounds like my kind of camping.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
it's relaxing camping.
So-
It's not, the hard kind.
So the 21st doesn't work for you guys. If we change it to like the 22nd, would that work for you guys? That's a Sunday.
That would be fine for me. Well, maybe. It depends.
Probably.
I may be taking the kids skiing.
Yeah, the 21st is actually
Okay,
the first day of my camping trip, so no.
What if we did it next week on the Saturday? Would that work for? I know that would work for you, Scott. Technically.
I actually got plans. I have a friend in Montana I'm meeting, but it's not you. Kind of awkward, but
Would you guys want one next week, or is that too soon?
That would be fine with me.
Yeah, I can do next week.
Yeah, that should be
David?
fine. Yeah, that's Hei's birthday. Gosh dang it.
Okay. All right. Well, what if it was the 15th? That's a Sunday, which means it's before a work night. But
I'm fine with that
I mean,
for myself.
I can't actually do the Sunday. I'm actually flying to Chicago on Sunday afternoon, evening, nighttime. Probably
okay.
like
What
nighttime.
about the 28th?
That'd be fine.
should be. Yeah, like I'm good when I'm in Montana, but if that doesn't work for people, well, I should be fine then as well.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean.
I'm gonna drop the
sounds
stream
like you guys
here.
are flying, but- Yeah. Go for it.